fracture, which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm. Please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul switch drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face. But somebody tweeted, he tweeted, Hook is a piece of shit, and then somebody tweeted this. Some woman, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jack. Oh wait, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jacked. 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their first back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, hey, come on. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. No, it's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked. And then Stokely just quote tweets it. Fuck you. Tony Brown, but who the fuck's in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook. And then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My t-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't. But Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it.
Oh, but
actually, hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you're fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like, I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. I'm trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
so follow a simp account.
Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking.
We actually follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't look at that stuff.
Decision.
It's a business decision because that guy promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, we got go fucking slap it on a t-shirt and continue to use the move forehead.
Unpretty.
This guy just say fucking forehead. What? This guy say forehead.
Yes, I did.
You think I fucking wouldn't catch that? You think nobody on this program would catch that? But I did. For weird.
You almost didn't.
For weird.
Let's be honest. You almost didn't.
Weird champ. Weird champ. This is what we resort to here.
All right. Next up.
Unbelievable. Five head.
Next up, we have.
Why people happy? Pagu. Weird champ. Weird. Forehead.
Oh god.
Franker faces.
Oh.
Wowie. Why people sad? What else?
Look at how red my face is.
What else we got? Let me go on Twitch right quick. Okay.
Why?
Why do people happy? KW, LOLW, XQCL.
All right. The Acclaim promo now. We were backstage.
Okay.
They're just like, yo, it's not gonna be a triple. It's not gonna be a normal.
No, dude, we're gonna do a fatal four-way. Poggers, bro. Thanks for the fucking bits.
Fucking damn it! Jump off a roof.
Well, they just lost Gunther, so I don't know how that is gonna survive. But what's it called? But the Third Reich faction. That's the Imperium's gonna turn to the Third Reich now. But he posted a picture on Twitter with Sean Dean. He's got his cast and it says "Justice" on it. And then somebody says Hook is some fucking girl says on Twitter, Hook is what? Stokely, I hate your ball ass so much. And then Big Stoke on Twitter goes, wow, Hook will pay for his crimes. It was confirmed that there was a forearm fracture which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul sweating in a drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face. But somebody tweeted, he tweeted, Hook is a piece of shit, and then somebody tweeted this. Some woman, I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every I dated a 5'8" guy who taunt every jacked. 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their first back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, hey, come on. I'm a little guy. I'm just a little guy. No, it's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked. And then Stokely just quote tweets it. Fuck you. Antonio Brown, but who the fuck's in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook. And then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My t-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't but Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it. Oh,
but
actually,
hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season, actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. It's fucking trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
So follow a simp account.
Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking. This is
we actually
networking.
follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't
It's
look
a
at that
business
stuff.
decision.
It's a business decision because that guy promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, Libri got so fucking slap it on a t-shirt and continue to use the move forehead.
Unprettier.
This guy just say fucking forehead.
Switch.
What?
This guy say forehead.
You
Yes, I
did.
did.
You think I fucking wouldn't catch that? You think nobody on this program would catch that? But I did. For weird.
You almost didn't.
For weird.
Let's be honest, you almost didn't.
Weird champ.
Don't
Weird
worry,
champ.
y'all will be on in just a minute, waiting for
Alright,
everyone to
next
join the
up,
call.
Unbelievable. Five
We'll
head.
be on in just 1 minute.
Next up,
Poggers.
we have
Why people happy? Pagu. Weird champ. For weird. Forehead.
Oh god.
Franker faces.
Oh.
Wowie. Why people sad. What else?
Look at how red my face is.
What else we got? Let me go on Twitch right quick. Okay.
why?
Why do people happy?
Oh.
XW, LOLW,
Oh.
XQCL.
All right. The Acclaim promo now. We were backstage.
Okay.
They're just
Okay.
like, yo, it's not gonna be a triple. It's not gonna be a
No,
normal.
dude, we're gonna do a fatal four-way poggers, bro. Thanks for the fucking
God,
bits.
Fuck, damn it! Jump off a roof.
Well, they just lost Gunther, so I don't know how that is gonna survive. But what's it called? But the Third Reich faction. That's Imperium's gonna turn to the Third Reich now. But he posted a picture on Twitter with Sean Dean. He's got his castle. It says justice on it. And then somebody says Hook is some fucking girl says on Twitter, Hook is what? Stokely, I hate your ball ass so much. And then Big Stoke on Twitter goes, wow, Hook will pay for his crimes. It was confirmed that there was a forearm fracture which required a cast. I am distraught. I rolled dice with my left hand, so I'm please don't make me sue this company, Tony Khan. Please, you know that a portrait of your father that's hanging in your office? Well, once I own this company, I'm replacing it with a big-ass photo of James Brown. Yep. Every time you see the Godfather of Soul sweating in drug-fueled rage at the Apollo, you're gonna think of me. Sounds pretty miserable, bro. Do the right thing. Punish this little bastard Hook and write me a fat check. By the way, here's a photo of me with my best friend Al Sharpton. It means absolutely nothing, by the way. Blushing face.
Guess what else entertain you guys on the starting soon screen. So this will be a lot to talk about today. Very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to discussing this pay-per-view in depth. So yeah, maybe what was some of y'all's favorite moments? Talk about that in the comments, and I'll read them off. Probably, no promises.
It's just also my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. It somehow always worked, and then Stokely just quote tweets it. F you, Antonio Brown. But who the f***'s in the background? It's Hook. It's fucking Hook, and then he's getting twerked on by some fucking broad. My T-shirt money is now in the ass crack of some fucking stripper. So thanks, Hook. But I don't. But Jesus Christ, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Clip it. Oh,
but
actually,
hey, it worked out in the long run.
I actually do hope they make another season actually, because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you're fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. I'm trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
So follow a simp account.
Okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking.
Yes,
we
actually follow.
It was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a Stan account, you got to follow the other Stans. And
I know, but like
when you
shit,
get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't
It's
look at that stuff.
Decision.
It's a business decision because that guy promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, we got so fucking slap it on a T-shirt and continue to use the move forehead.
Unpretty.
This guy just say fucking forehead. What? This guy say forehead.
Yes, I did.
You think I fucking wouldn't catch that? You think nobody on this program would catch that? But I did. For weird.
You almost didn't.
For weird.
Let's be honest. You almost didn't.
Weird champ. Weird champ. This is what we resort to here.
All right. Next up.
Unbelievable. Five head.
Next up, we have.
Why people happy? Pagu. Weird champ. Weird. Forehead.
Oh god.
Franker faces.
Oh.
Wowie. White people sad.
Sorry, I forgot to switch over, and Christian was talking. Yeah, like we but Brian said he wanted his last match to be at Wrestle Dream, and well,
His last match as a full-time active performer. He said it. We thought he might have been just playing it up, or he might have changed his mind. But he did say this before Wembley, that he wanted his final match as an in-ring talent, a full-time in-ring talent, to be at Wrestle Dream, in his home state,
yeah,
which happened tonight. It's shocking, but it's not out of the realm of stuff that wasn't unbelievable. This was always a possibility. I didn't think it was going to happen tonight, but it did. And I know a lot of people online are freaking out, saying, "Oh, how could he go out like this? Why would you do him like this in his final thing?" He's not done. He's not going to be around for a while because he's probably he's going off to get neck surgery.
Yeah.
I don't think he could put that off any longer. So when he returns from that, he's still gonna be in AEW. He's still gonna wrestle. He's not gonna be full time. He'll probably I think maybe 5, 6, 7 matches a year.
I think it's obvious now that this road is leading to Mox and Darby at Full Gear for the title. Because I don't see you just throwing a random guy at Mox for that.
I agree, but it's like Darby is. Well, I'm gonna map it out, but my thing is, this whole story is gonna be centered around Darby Allin and his guilt, because he's the one who put up his title match against Danielson at Wrestle Dream against Moxley. He's the one who lost the match to Moxley at Grand Slam. This would have never happened if Darby didn't do this. That's why the camera was on him for a long time after that post-match angle, and why he looks so damn dejected.
Hold on. So the media scrum just started, and for the first time since AEW's inception, Tony Khan will not be a part of the media scrum tonight.
I thought
he
so,
is
because
he is en route to the hospital to
well,
look
no,
at. Well, hey, I'm keeping kayfabe, brother.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Jags are playing in London tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. So if you want to know why Tony Khan's not at the media,
He's at the hospital looking over Brian. All right.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
Because they kept those cameras on Brian up until they put him in the ambulance in the arena.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Keep kayfabe, brother. Also, hey, Quinn. Hey, Brandon. What's up, guys? Thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna have fun here. I will keep up to date on who appears at the media scrum, because currently the people hosting it are Tony Schiavone and
Nigel.
And Nigel. Yeah, sorry.
Nigel.
I'm just tired.
All right, so getting into the show here, just quickly running down the pre-show stuff. We had Anna and Harley. Anna beat Harley. Brian Cage defeated Atlantis Jr. for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. The Outrunners, Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy beat the Premier Athletes and Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Outrunners were the most over guys in the pre-show, which was cool to see. And NXM Collection with Rico Constantino, which that was fucking awesome. Lost to the Acclaimed.
I like how everyone thought, oh, it's gonna be Dijak, there's gonna be Breeze. Nope.
See, I didn't.
The biggest fucking swerve.
That made no sense. It would have made no sense for it to be Dijak besides their friends outside of wrestling. You know who else is his friends outside of wrestling? Most wrestlers. You know who else is friends outside of wrestling? Moxley and Danielson. Jesus. But,
also, and don't forget about the Anna Jay match as well. And Jay's match was. You did?
Yeah.
I think your microphone is.
Oh.
Because you sound like muffled as all hell.
All right, maybe this is better. What's it called? That was a pretty good pre-show.
And Mariah May is kicking off the media scrum.
Oh, great! Nigel should be excited.
Nigel is just distraught after.
Yeah, well, yeah. So getting into the main show here, we're gonna go through some of the lesser storyline ones quickly because we probably have both have a lot to say about the main event and the future. But if we kicked off the show with Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page, and this match was fucking awesome. This is a great opener. Both these guys brought it. This was Jay's first real match back from injury, and he looked like he never missed a step. The best thing I could say about this match is that the way Jay was wrestling, like how he was in New Japan again, where he was wrestling so psychologically smart, in his placement and in his selling and his psychology. He looked fucking fantastic in there, and obviously Hangman played his role too. We know how great Hangman Adam Page is, but Jay worked Hangman's leg the entire time, the knee and the leg, to the point where Hangman was having trouble doing the buckshot, and that resulted in the finish where Hangman did a slow buckshot where he didn't get enough base off his leg, and Jay countered right into a Blade Runner and pinned Hangman Page. No help from the Bang Bang Gang, just clean as a whistle.
It was a great finish too. That was a brilliant finish.
Yeah, it was, and I'm glad that he beat Hangman clean as a whistle. That's a big time win for Jay White on his first match back, and it looks like Jay White's getting back on track. And I'm very happy to see that.
His next setup is going to be with Christian.
Who?
Jay White going off by the
No, I highly doubt that.
Going off by the backstage segment that they did.
Oh,
that was
see that.
That was on Twitter. He mentioned that it's not time for the patriarch. So I think that's to tie up the loose ends from before.
He has unfinished business with him, but Christian and Hook is probably the.
I think it's just to tie up the loose end, kind of do what they did when MJF came back with Adam Cole, just to tie up that loose end until Cole was proper.
Yeah,
I think this is just to tie up the loose end. Maybe like a special Dynamite before Full Gear. I would imagine.
I mean, it's whenever they do it.
True.
It's. I mean, there's no use speculating in when they're gonna do it. It's just whenever they do it, because they're gonna do it. But Hook and Christian is probably the plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is
because with who attacked Taz, and it's very very. It's most likely Christian and Nick Wayne, because obviously Luchasaurus is dealing with major health issues right now. So get Wilson, he's not going to be back for a very long time.
Swerve is up now, by the way.
Okay, he's not going to be back for a very, very long time, which sucks, and he's going through a bad situation right now. So get Wilson to Luchasaurus. But yeah, this match was great. Very excited to see what Jay does next, and I think it's going to be a lot better it's going to be a tale of two halves for Jay White here after this injury. After this, we had.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the posse that Swerve has at the media scrum looks like the kids that Nana sold pot to.
Maybe.
He still serves. He's still selling pot to high school kids in the parking lot of the hotels.
But yeah, after this we had Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale. This was a great match. This was an excellent match between these two women. I very much enjoyed these two. Rematch from the Owen final. Great stuff here from these two. Hard hitting. Both these women know how to work. I mean, it was as advertised. I expected great, and that's what we got here. Mariah, she ended up pinning Willow with the Storm Zero. No Mina, no Tony. Just clean as a whistle. She beat Willow. It's a great victory for Mariah. She looked great in the match. And yeah, it's on to the next for Mariah. If that's Mina,
which she'll probably have for a celebration soon, and then because Mina will probably be coming back soon. But yeah, and whenever Tony comes back, but yeah, great match here from those two. After this, we had.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I gotta fix my microphone because apparently it's staticky on like the.
Oh, okay.
Let me. Okay, it should be fixed now. Okay, but okay, it's all good. I just wanted to double check. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no. So, what's next for Mariah? I think, because Tony is both doing, cause what Tony's doing like the Japan tour.
Tony's supposed to be wrestling in Mexico, but that got delayed
because of Milton
and
yeah,
due to the weather. But yeah, she'll be back. I think Mina will come back before Tony does. And we'll see when that happens. I think it's full go on Mina after this, though. So
I can agree.
We'll see what happens with Mariah. But after this, we had the Scapegoat, Jack Perry versus Katsuyori Shibata. This was a pretty good match. And these two, I mean, obviously they had Shibata on the show because he was one of the few people trained by Inoki. And the match was very, very good. Shibata looked great. Jack looked great. But the main, but the finish came from Shibata put Jack in a sleeper, and he cinched it in so bad and so far back that Jack ended up going out, but he didn't realize it, and then they ended up counting to 3. Very, very quickly, very, very shockingly. The crowd didn't even pick up on it until after the 3 count happened.
It works out.
He won. He won because his shoulders were down on. While he was choking him out.
In story regards, it works out because you have like Rick Knox as the ref too, and canonically within AEW, when the Bucks are heels, Rick Knox is in the pocket of the Elite.
I mean, that was never.
I know, but I'm saying that, like, but in storyline, if people get upset, you can always swerve it into there.
That was never a thing. That was just like a joke between the fan base. I mean, you can't. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it has to be on. I mean, if something's not mapped out on TV, then
I think it was mapped out on TV once.
Maybe a commentary. It was not mapped out on TV. If they wanted to have a crooked referee like Rick Knox or like in the pocket referee, they would have explicitly done something. They haven't, and you can't expect the fan base to go off of jokes and memes and not and
basic knowledge.
Because there's some people that don't watch the weekly show. Some people only watch the pay-per-views. Or they only catch the show every now and then. You can't rely on that, and I don't think that's what they did anyway. But that's one thing that AEW does need to work on too, as well. A lot of stuff is like they need more context on certain things. I'm like, yeah, they work with a lot of insider knowledge because the AEW fan base is more privy to that, but not everybody is, and you can't neglect those people. Because you can't have a subsection of your fan base that's not up to speed about integral storyline elements.
Out of curiosity, is there a gain controlling your mic? Because that could also be the issue too. Because like it sounds like it's just overblown.
Hold on, let me see. Let me just check on that.
I'm like it works good, then some point it sounds like you're yelling at me playing FIFA as the as the vacuum's in the back.
I hear it. Let me just unplug it and plug it back in. Let's see.
There we go.
Is it better?
Oh, it was there for a second.
It's probably the wire. I probably gotta get a new wire. Let's see.
but like it's
I'm probably
kind
just
of
gonna. I'm probably just gonna move back from the mic,
all
I
right.
guess.
All right, because I'm
But
trying, like, I'm fussing with with your levels, volumes, both
yeah.
here and on OBS.
Um, but yeah, uh,
It's,
just going back to that, um, AEW. I mean, they just got to make sure that people are clued in,
oh
because
yeah, of
obviously
course.
there's gonna be people that don't know.
Because
But
like it made sense. It would make sense. Like I'm only bringing it up because it could work out any way they can. But it would make more sense, say, if this was like early AEW 2019, 2020, where being the elite was like a hot commodity and it's something that added to the stories. But
but you can't have that
yeah.
anymore. But anyway, um, after this, we had Jack Perry in the ring, beating down on Shibata, hitting him with the title belt. But all of a sudden, here comes Daniel Garcia to make the save, and Garcia, he's running down, he's staring down Jack Perry, and all of a sudden, Jack Perry leaves the ring, and then here we hear the music of none other than MJF. He is back from filming multiple projects, one of which is Happy Gilmore 2, and he will be playing Happy Gilmore's son in that movie, so that's pretty cool.
There was a clip that dropped. Well, like a leaked thing from people outside of like the filming area. And MJF is pretty much playing MJF in this movie.
I hope it's not one of those movies where it's like they just try to get as much celebrities as they can in it, because I heard there's like fucking Travis Kelce's in it.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. It's like
it's an Adam Sandler Netflix project. So
yeah, I mean, good for MJF. I'll watch it for MJF. But anyway, here comes MJF. Him and Garcia, they start calling the blows. MJF gets a microphone. He's like, "Hey, Danny, the last time I saw you,
and Takesha's on.
Last time I saw you, you put me out, but I went away to go make millions of dollars in multiple movies. It's been a while, and he says, I'm glad you told me about where the Dynamite Diamond ring was in a pawn shop in Buffalo, because I got it back," which they probably either got it back or probably just made a new one.
I would assume that they made a new one.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who made it they used to work the dark tapings. His name's the Diamond Sheik. He makes all of Cody Rhodes' shit. But yeah, MJF goes to put the ring on. He's gonna go bash Garcia over the head with it, but none other than Adam Cole.
Baby.
And Adam Cole comes to make the save for Daniel Garcia. He is back. He's running. MJF is like, he starts hobbling. He's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" But Adam Cole starts sprinting to the ring. He daps up Garcia, and Adam Cole proclaims that he's back, and he's putting everybody in AEW on notice. So he is back as a babyface. So you could really throw out the entire Undisputed Kingdom. I mean, it was a swing and a miss, and it was. I mean, part of it.
Time for more Adam.
Well, a lot of it wasn't their fault when it came to injuries with MJF and Adam Cole, because that's the whole story. Really got fucked over by the two top guys at the time, going down to bad injuries. But yeah, Adam Cole's back. MJF ran off. So it's looking like they're going to be doing Garcia. At least they'll do a tag match between like Jack and MJF versus Garcia and Adam Cole. But it's likely it's very. I'm sure it's going to be split off, and Garcia and Jack are going to be the TNT title feud, and Adam Cole and MJF will finally get their penultimate match that they never got.
And
But
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to it.
Great to see Adam Cole back. That's fucking awesome. And I'm great to see MJF back in the thick of things after his little hiatus there. Next up, we had the match of the night, in my opinion. The triple threat international title match between Konosuke Takeshita, Ricochet, and Will Ospreay. This match was fucking
Someone did the Twitter meme of I'm just gonna it's about time I say it. This triple threat was better than AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels.
We need to chill out.
I was like,
Listen, the greatest matches of all time, and I think this one too. But listen, it's been 3 hours. Cool down.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait a couple months. I mean, this was one of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen. But let's not fucking compare. Let's not start comparing it to the best triple threat match of all time 3 hours after it's happened. I mean, there's a thing called the honeymoon period, and it exists. So people need to chill the fuck out.
This overall still was like an amazing.
But this was, but here's the thing.
It simply delivered.
When 2 months pass and people want to say, hey, you know what, that might have been the greatest triple threat match of all time, I wouldn't really argue with you, because it was that damn good. It was unbelievable. This was an excellent match. I loved this match. It was so good. All 3 guys fucking showed up. I don't see. We can't go move for move here because the shit these guys were doing. It's like, what do you even say? You can't really. I mean, what do you even say? It's like, this is inhuman shit. There was a bastard driver through a table by Takeshita to Ricochet. There was multiple fucking hidden blades that were crazy.
I guess Fightful released a statement for Bryan. It simply says Bryan's full-time run has reached its end, and we've learned more about the last few months of his career. Danielson lost to Moxley at Wrestle Dream, and his full-time career is effectively over. It was indicated to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful that Danielson specifically wanted to lose to Moxley to end that run. As highlighted on Fightful Select, AEW doctors legitimately didn't allow Danielson to be involved in Blood and Guts, though it was something that the company was hoping could happen throughout the year. However, Danielson was cleared to compete in regular matches along his road to full-time retirement. Although many people wondered if his interviews were in character regarding his health status, we were told that those were all true. By the time the Moxley match was unfolding, Danielson even had thought he probably shouldn't have done a couple of those matches leading up to Wrestle Dream. Danielson has legitimately been without a talent contract for a number of months, and we were told that he does not have any additional contracts. He's effectively a free agent without additional obligations. He's told many in interviews and backstage that he doesn't envision going back to WWE at this time. The hope within AEW is that he'll wrestle periodically for them and resume additional duties whenever he's ready. Danielson told Fightful that he had to get his neck fixed first, which likely means surgery. Danielson's match at All In had been planned since earlier this year, complete with Danielson winning the title. We were told that Chris Hero produced the All In main event, and Swerve Strickland was adamant he wanted to tap out to lose to Danielson as opposed to passing out or anything else. Since virtually the start of Swerve's reign, it was known that Danielson would likely be the one to end it. We wish Danielson well in his full-time retirement. So there's that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
That's as the best you can get right there. And that's what I was adamant about the entire time. Was whatever Bryan wanted to do on his way out,
he did it.
I was in support of, and the way Bryan wanted to go out, regardless of how it was, he should be able to get that, because not every wrestler, I mean, actually not every wrestler, most wrestlers don't get their desired ending. A few guys do. Only a few of them do. And Brian got his. I mean, he's not done. He's still going to have matches periodically, but his full-time career is finished.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the greatest thing you could probably achieve as a wrestler is going to go out on your own terms. So I have no problem with that at all. So whatever he wanted to do, I'm in full support of it. But we're gonna get to that when we get there. But just back to the triple threat. The match ended where Takeshita put Ricochet through the table with a bastard driver that looked fantastic. That was the end of Ricochet for the match. And then after, Ospreay hit a hidden blade on Takeshita, and Don Callis pulled the ref out before the 3 count. Takeshita ended up hitting a power drive knee, a Blue Thunder Bomb, and he hit a Blue Thunder Bomb and kicked out. But before that, Kyle Fletcher ended up showing up with a screwdriver and ended up turning on Will Ospreay. He hit Ospreay in the back of the head. Ospreay looked at him confused. Takeshita pulled down his knee pad and struck Will Ospreay with a power drive knee. They slung the ref back in the ring, and he countered the 3 count. And Konosuke Takeshita is now the new AEW International Champion, which I think is the right move. I think
was
the international champion
shortest media
great.
scrum ever. It's over.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, I don't blame you. It's they're obviously selling the major angle, and he's not there. So, but anyway, So Takeshita wins the title after Kyle Fletcher gives Ospreay the Tiger Driver, and just completely puts him out. So I don't know what's next for them. Obviously, it's probably going to be Ricochet and Ospreay versus Takeshita and Fletcher going forward. But I also think Ospreay's going to be not gone for like a month or anything. He'll probably be gone for about 2 or 3 weeks, selling the Tiger Driver. But in the meantime, you'll probably get Ricochet fighting for him, or somebody else. But yeah. All the United Empire guys, if this really doesn't mean anything, but all the United Empire guys like Hinare and TJP, Great Khan, Francesco Akira, they all sounded off about this online, about this angle, because obviously Kyle was a part of the United Empire.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll bring in any of those guys to do something with it, but yeah, this was us. We saw this coming, but yeah, I'm very excited because then now we're gonna get more Kyle versus Ospreay, more Takeshita versus Ospreay, and Ricochet and all that. So this is gonna be great stuff. But yeah, I'm very happy that Takeshita won. He finally gets a title. Very happy for him. The guy is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I have no complaints about them giving a title to Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh, same. I think it's been long overdue for Takeshita to get a title. And I think when it was the All Atlantic, was he in AEW at the time?
Takeshita?
Yeah. When it was called the original name, the All Atlantic title?
Technically yes, but he wasn't signed.
I think we talked about how him holding that title would be a good idea too.
Yeah, I pitched it all the way back. I pitched it all the way back when Orange was during Orange's first reign, and before Takeshita even turned heel. I was like, if they turned Takeshita, I think he would be a great candidate to take it off of him.
Oh yeah. Now here we are.
Yep. Took the long road, but I think it paid off in the long run because obviously before that we didn't know fucking Ospreay was coming in.
Yeah.
So
then after that we had the Swerve segment, right?
Yep. We had Prince Nana out here,
chilling his coffee.
he's out there, and he introduces Swerve. They're in Tacoma, Washington, which is literally Swerve's house. It's his hometown. Here comes Swerve. He's talking about what's been going on, and he announces that he's medically cleared. But he is then interrupted by MVP, and MVP comes out and basically talks about him and
MVP and Shelton.
Oh, Shelton Benjamin, yeah.
Can't forget that.
And
Complaints department.
He basically talks about their entire history together, where they used to wrestle in Defy. He would give him advice and life advice, and Swerve's like, you know what, you're right, we do have history, and Nana, you do bug me. There is stuff about you that I don't like, and he basically talks about how I did lose the title, and I did lose 2 matches under your watch, and my house burned down because under your watch, but I wouldn't have had the title in the first place. I wouldn't have all this if it wasn't for you. But then he goes back to MVP. It's like, you know what, we do have history. Maybe it would be good for us to rekindle that. But then he goes back over to Nana and he says, "Hey, but Nana, he's selling all this coffee and he's selling weed to high school kids outside of a hotel." And
Nana did not deny. He's like, hey.
I mean, Hangman said that.
It's the hustle.
Yeah. But he did. But he said in the end, well, but here's the thing though. Prince Nana, your family, and I never turn my back on family. And he gets in MVP's face. Shelton Benjamin gets in Swerve's face and basically says, "We're not asking you, we're telling you, because if you're not with us, you're against us."
Mm-hmm. So when does, because like assuming the reports are true,
they went away.
Like assuming that the reports are true of Bobby Lashley.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when does he come in for this? Because I would assume today would have been the.
Yeah, I expected it tonight, but I understand why they didn't. As soon as when I saw the placement of the segment, because I don't know if they wanted to have a Bobby Lashley debut and overshadow the returns of both MJF and Adam Cole. So I think
true.
I'm after the placement of that, I'm like, you know what, I understand why they're holding it.
But like, what now? Do you save that for even Wednesday?
No. But what I see here is that because MVP walked into the tunnel doing this, but what's happening here is it's gonna be Swerve having like a mini feud with Shelton, having a match with Shelton, or maybe a couple of matches with Shelton, before he shows up, and I think it could be a pay-per-view match, Swerve and Shelton at Full Gear. And then I think Bobby Lashley, I think the latest is Full Gear. I think Full Gear at the latest. I think it is going to be Full Gear because if they didn't have, they had 2 big returns tonight. They don't have Bryan Danielson anymore. And they'll probably have a big debut on Full Gear. So I think that's where Bobby Lashley is probably showing up.
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to give Shelton a shine first before he gets overshadowed immediately by Bobby Lashley. So that's what I think going on here.
But after that we had trying to remember, it was the 2 out of 3 falls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, so after this we had the Beast Mortos versus Hologram in the 2 out of 3 falls match, and this was a great match.
Yeah.
Lucha match, and I forgot to add this during the pre-show, but the match, the reason, because this match, it wasn't random, but it was random to the point where it's like, this could have been a TV match, but I wasn't complaining with these two, and but I get why, because this is the first pay-per-view. They signed a deal with Fox Sports Mexico, and they needed a lucha match. And this is the first pay-per-view that was airing on Fox Sports Mexico. So to have a lucha match with 2 guys that are familiar to Mexican fans, it made sense why this was on the show. So, but this match delivered. It was great. Great lucha match. Very exciting. Hologram scored the first fall. Beast Mortal scored the second fall, and then Hologram eventually won the match. And yeah, just a solid 2 out of 3 falls match. That's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah. It's a fun match.
Yeah, after this, we had a quick little segment with Jerry Lynn and Orange Cassidy. Basically, Jerry Lynn's giving Orange Cassidy a pep talk about how I know you've been down lately, but he's just gassing him up. And then Hook shows up and says, "Hey, you should listen to Jerry." So it looks like another Orange Cassidy push is starting, and with the events of the end of the show, and the 2 guys that were in the frame at the end of the show, I think this was very much on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because of just the shot at the end of the show. But just getting back to it, we had Darby Allin versus Brody King. And this match was fucking great. It was violent. It was expected. I mean, you got this this big ass 300-pound guy tossing Darby around like he's a fucking sack of shit. And Darby selling his ass off, and
it's legit just like the small.
It's not even selling. It's just fucking him just getting fucked up.
If looking at this from the perspective of, yeah, it's the try hard guy going into the mosh pit just to get dog walked by the biggest dude in the fucking building.
But
up until the end.
there was a great spot where Darby shoved Brody King off the top rope onto the steel steps and then hit a coffin drop on him, and then he got in the ring and hit another coffin drop.
I can't get over like the step spot of Brody King walking up the steps. That's Darby's underneath it.
That was crazy.
Ugh.
But yeah, so it was 2 coffin drops that did Brody King in, and that's what happened.
They shook hands at the end for respect.
Yep, they shook hands and they went on their merry way. This was not the last time we'd see Darby tonight.
Yeah.
And as I said in the pre-show, I didn't know obviously because of the events of the main event, but knowing what happened in the main event, Darby absolutely needed to win that match, and it was very apparent. Next up, we had the AEW Tag Team Title match between Private Party and the Young Bucks, and this was another pretty good match. I was very happy to see Private Party in the spot. It's something they've earned as of late because they've been getting a push. But they looked good in this match. They looked real good in this match. You can see how much they've grown over the past 5 years since the last match with since the first match with the Young Bucks. Well, not the first technically, but first on AEW.
Yeah, and like
match with the Young Bucks.
Stellar match. Like the outcome was as expected though.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there was a couple spots in this match where I'm like, you know something, if they don't have not a plan, but if they're gonna put it on somebody, I could see them putting it on Private Party tonight. If they there was a couple near falls where they got me like, wow, I think they could actually have this. One of them was on the Gin and Juice spot, but I'm like, I didn't think it was out of the realm of possibility because it was either they drop them tonight to Private Party or they're not dropping them until a ways away, which now I think is, I mean, we had Top Flight watching this match on the sides. I don't think they're going to drop into Top Flight.
And Stokely.
You did have Stokely as well.
Also, Stokely and Statlander are done, just to let people know, after the face turn this past Tuesday of Statlander.
But after seeing the pre-show, the 0 hour, I mean, the Outrunners are so fucking over. They got to get these guys ready to go. And
I would put them I would set up another tag team tournament type deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd say maybe World's End or Revolution is when you put the titles on the Outrunners. But they need to get on Dynamite, and they need to get a lot of face time on Dynamite, not just Collision, but they need to start ramping them up because I mean I think they're in the spot they're supposed to be. They're getting over, but now I think that it's time to ramp up and get them ready because I think that at least for a title match, But I think they're so over to the point where like it's starting to be like you can't ignore this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see where that goes, and I think the Bucks Outrunners feud could be fucking fantastic.
The promos would be fun.
Yeah, but the finish here came from the Bucks hitting a Tony Khan driver and then the EVP trigger on Isaiah Cassidy, and to pin to pin Private Party. They retained their belts. They gave Private Party a nice little ovation at the end, which I thought was cool. Because I think that's not the end of their quest.
Oh,
no,
no.
They're a future tag. They're gonna be future tag champs, but it's like
Yeah.
they've arrived and they've really gotten better. And I think that's this push. I think they're gonna be a main focal point in the tag division that's been depleted over the last year. But yeah. After this, we had Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship, and I thought this was actually a pretty good match. I mean, it was in the spot right before the main event on already a long show, so the crowd was a little tired, but I thought what was
great it was a good co-main event to
it was not bad
to kind of like ease the crowd, because God, this main event, I can't wait to talk about it. It was amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, we had Jericho and Mark Briscoe here, and they had interference from Big Bill and Brian Keith, but they were dispatched by Kyle O'Reilly and Rocky Romero. Actually, excuse me, Orange Cassidy and Rocky Romero. And if you noticed, this was a little detail that during the 0 Hour and during the Jerry Lynn promo, Orange was wearing his black Orange Cassidy shirt. But after the promo, he came out and interfered. He was wearing the white Orange Cassidy shirt to see basically that his mood's changing. So that was a little detail.
Yeah, no, I think you got it the other. I'm not sure if you got it the other way around. It was for the save. He has the black Orange Cassidy shirt at the end.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure if you got the order mixed up. You said he was wearing the white shirt at the end or not.
He was wearing this white shirt in the Jericho match.
Yes, and then black shirt.
That's what I said.
Okay, then black shirt for the save at the end.
Wait.
He was wearing the black shirt during the Moxley and everyone else.
Huh, that's weird.
Cause I'm looking at the still from it.
Weird. That's weird. You change shirts. But anyway,
I think he was wearing the black shirt even during the rundown. I think he just switched shirts.
No, I have the video up when he hits the orange punch on Big Bill. He's wearing that white shirt.
Well, I'm talking about the save for Brian.
Oh,
he has the black shirt on for that.
That's weird. So he changed his shirt for one match and then changed it back. But yeah, I really liked the finish of the match where Mark he got hit with a Judas effect and it was kind of got dicey there for a moment, but then Jericho then hit the J Driller and then Mark kicked out and completely fired up, and you know what that meant. He hit Jericho with the Froggy Bow, and then he hit him with his own J Driller, the real J Driller, and defeated Jericho, retaining his title. I thought that was a great little finish there with as a memorial to Jay Briscoe. But yeah, that brings us to our main event of the evening, between the American Dragon Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, and this match was fucking great. Great stuff here from these two. I really enjoyed this match. Just
two of the greats.
You already knew what was going on with this match. Two of the greatest of the modern era. Bryan, in my opinion, one of the greatest, maybe the greatest of all time. But Bryan, he was fantastic. And I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, what are you going to say about Bryan Danielson that I haven't already said? The guy's the best.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson, if not named Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay.
And just like Moxley is like he's up there with one of the greatest wrestlers.
Absolutely, he's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen. These are just two guys that are masters. The crowd was with this the entire time. They started the match with the music still going before the bell even rung, which
I loved how they cut it off. It was like it was like a light Busaiku knee into the corner, and then they cut the music off, and
it turned off when the bell rung.
And my buddy Quinn just mentioned, in his opinion, like Bryan and Mox are the two of the most important signings in AEW.
Of course, absolutely.
Because Mox, like, he was the first defector from like WWE to AEW to sign with AEW, like outside of Jericho, but Jericho was done with WWE by the time AEW was conceived. But Bryan and Mox are the most important signings AEW has. And for them to kind of be in the situation where they are, even for Mox now to have the title back, it's important because with how the story is going, even with Bryan, like Bryan wanting Mox to be the one to end his full-time career, it shows like how important Bryan and the company sees Mox is.
Well, Mox has been there for break glass in case of emergency. Just put the belt on Mox. I mean, that happened after the whole Punk fiasco. It happened twice.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is Jon Moxley. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but this is Jon Moxley's fourth world title. And I'm not complaining because every single one of his world title reigns has been different. The first one, it was obviously early into the company during the whole pandemic age, where Mox was just kind of Mox. And then you had the ones with Punk and Moxie, which was like the early Blackpool Combat Club days. And now we have fucking heel, Riddle, fucking Psycho Mox.
Where we still don't know where this is going.
Yeah. The match itself was fantastic. Marina Shafir got heavily involved into the match. She ended up getting thrown out. But the finish came from Danielson hit Moxley with a Busaiku knee. And then they ended up in a very, very cool submission exchange where it came to the point where Mox had Bryan in a rear naked choke, and Bryan was fighting to get to the rope, but he went out and he fell backwards, and onto the ground. He wasn't moving. Bryce checked his arm and he wasn't moving, and I saw him get up. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And he called for the bell. Bryan Danielson loses the AEW World Championship. His full-time in-ring career has concluded, and Moxley is now a 4-time AEW World Champion. I was completely fucking shocked by this. I thought, besides what Danielson has said, I guess it's my delusion not wanting to see him go and holding on to him. Maybe he's got a little bit more left. But Bryan, that was it. And after the match, here comes Pat, Claudio, and Marina. They shoved the AEW World Championship into a duffel bag, which...
Are we getting a new...
I don't know if we're going to get a new one, but it felt like a heist. Like they put it in there to give it to somebody.
Time to bring back the real AEW Championship with the X on it.
Yeah. So... I don't know if they're going to give this belt to somebody, because that's how it feels like when you watch a heist movie and they stick shit in a duffel bag. It's like they're giving it to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's the case, but Pac was holding it on their way out. Pac and Claudio, but the whole aftermath was that...
It's not even at the craziest part yet.
Yeah, they're beating down Bryan. Everyone's beating the shit out of Bryan Danielson. Here comes Wheeler Yuta and Darby Allin to come make the save, and
the camera work was amazing here.
Darby is staring at Claudio and Pac, and Mox and Marina looking at Yuta, and Yuta is like, fuck. And he ends up smashing Darby in the back of the head. Everybody's shocked. They give Wheeler Yuta the plastic bag. He sticks the plastic bag over Bryan Danielson's head and starts screaming at him, stop moving. Just stop moving. I'm sorry. Stop moving. Just don't do it. Just stop moving. And don't do anything. I'm sorry. Stop moving.
Do you want to know what would be a fun match to see? Because pretty much like everyone who returned tonight cleared the locker room. Every face that returned left to help out. Yeah. I want to see Garcia and Yuta go at it again.
Well, yeah, I mean they've had multiple matches. They're definitely gonna go again.
That'd be fucking insane.
That's the thing. Everybody who ran out there to help, I don't think they're gonna be involved in this.
Oh, and I'm just saying that, but I would love to see two amazing young professional wrestlers in Yuta and Garcia go back at it again, and I love what they did with Darby. They duct taped him to the ropes. They made him watch this.
Yeah, they duct taped Darby's wrist to the bottom rope, and he's trying to kick. So Marina ended up sitting on his legs, and he couldn't do anything. He just had to watch. They threw water on him. Yuta's fucking crying. He doesn't. He's fucking pissed. He's not pissed. He's just fucking beside himself. He can't look up. It's this is very much against his will. This is very Yuta was fantastic in this. Yuta was absolutely fantastic. This was very much against his will. It felt like he was being threatened or he's being held hostage somehow, some way, and that's the way to do it. Because when I came on the pre-show and I said, because obviously I don't think both of us thought Brian were losing this match, but if you were gonna have Yuta turn, which to be honest, he really didn't. He did not turn. He didn't want to do this. He did, but he didn't. But if you wanted to have him turn, it shouldn't be, oh, now I hate Brian. No, he's doing it. He's doing what he's doing because he feels like a hostage, and he's basically doing this shit against his will. That's the way to do it.
Because he's doing it
because he has to.
Yeah, it was even with him hitting Darby, it was either, hey, if you don't do this, we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be 10 times worse.
Yeah, so Yuta was obviously gonna be a big storyline element in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But after this, they put a chair around Brian's neck,
and they Pillmanized him.
Claudio goes in and lays a huge stomp on this. Commentary was selling this shit like this guy just got
Excalibur needs a fucking Oscar.
Excalibur was in tears. Shivani and Jim Ross were yelling how fucking disgusting this was. Nigel couldn't believe it. The whole roster clears out because security's not doing a damn thing. Private Party, Daniel Garcia, Adam Cole,
Jeff Jarrett.
He ended up getting busted open during all this. They ended up running out. Claudio, Yuta, Mox, Marina, and Pac, they all split. They're all out of there. And Orange Cassidy, he shows up too. They start putting Danielson on a stretcher. And at the end, it's just all the baby faces watching this dejected because the biggest heel right now has won. And the closing shot is of Darby Allin basically crying and in tears and beside himself on the ground, watching Brian get taken out on a stretcher right next to Orange Cassidy. What this is setting up is that Darby Allin gave up his title shot. Well, he didn't really give it up, but Darby Allin put his title shot against Brian for this pay-per-view on the line against Moxley when he did not have to. He lost, but then he went and lost, but then he went and lost the match at Grand Slam to Moxley for Mox to get this match. If Darby didn't do either of those things, this would have never happened. So Darby Allin is basically, his entire story now is that he's fucking he's going to be so rattled with guilt that he ended up like not really first-handly but not really first-handedly, but he ended up getting Brian into this situation. The
Mhm.
reason this happened to Brian was due to shit that he caused.
Now,
So it's gonna be Darby's guilt tour, and where Orange Cassidy comes into this is that Orange and Darby have teamed before. Orange is a big baby. They're obviously gonna give him a push after that, fucking that promo package. Not promo package, that backstage segment that they did. So
with
even if it's not Orange fully, it's always gonna be Darby. I think this is all leading. I mean, and now that the belt's on a heel, you can really now scratch off Jay White and Hangman to what we were thinking. Now it's all Darby. It is all Darby Allin. Darby Allin will be the next World Heavyweight Champion, and he will beat Jon Moxley to do it. It will not be at Full Gear. I don't even know when it's going to be, but he's going to have a long road ahead of him, racked with guilt, to get to that world title. Darby Allin's going to be the next world champion. There's no doubt in my mind. At this point.
That's
I just don't know what's going to happen, and it can't happen at Full Gear because that's way too soon.
My buddy in chat is comparing Darby as going to be like the Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3 into the story. I haven't played Mafia 3, so I don't
know.
Fully get the reference, but I can 100% probably agree with it in this regards. But like with Darby, and this is just me thinking of it, like, are we going to see kind of like the more twisted Darby that was on the indies before AEW, like a lot more like brutal, a lot more hardcore with his fighting style now, being like Darby kind of just being like riddled with guilt. He now has to channel something.
I mean, I think I don't know. It depends on where they go with this.
Because I'm going to assume Darby is going to try to pick off this new Blackpool Combat Club.
Darby's gonna need help too. So I don't know what I really can't predict it. All I know is that Darby Allin is gonna be the main character
of AEW in 2025.
Most likely. So yeah, I don't know where this is gonna go, but Darby, he is gonna end up with that world title. He has to, and but I mean, I don't know if they're gonna, because they can't hold off Darby and Mox for like over a year.
Yeah, no, of course.
But it's like in my vision, it's like Darby wins the title with the help of Bryan and Yuta, and Brian's not going to be back for a long time because he's going to go get neck surgery. But that just brings us back. But that's how they went off the air. That brings us to Brian. Brian, his full-time in-ring career is finished, and that makes me very sad because Brian is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. The first ever wrestling T-shirt I ever bought was from Bryan Danielson back in fucking 2012.
My first ever wrestling T-shirt was the John Deere Cena design.
With Brian, I mean, he's the perfect pro wrestler. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing bad. There's nothing bad about him.
The ultimate underdog.
He's the greatest. If there was a college course about pro wrestling, or if they taught pro wrestling in schools, the way they talk about historical figures and the way they talk about icons and people who revolutionized the world, the guy who did that, there's a lot of wrestlers who have done that, but not like Brian. Brian,
he's a Hall of Fame candidate as well.
He's more than a Hall of Fame. To me, he's a Mount Rushmore type of guy.
Oh, if you were to like the wrestlers that broke the mold in like the 2010s, and like I say this with pride as well. Like the ones that broke the mold in 2010, you have him, Punk, even like Owens and Sami Zayn, the ones that broke the mold.
Well, all four of those guys. I mean, you could probably push that up a decade.
And I say 2010s because even like because Owens and Zayn were popping off on the indies
Well, no,
around that
that's what I'm
time.
saying. They were doing that a lot. They were popping off a while before that. I mean, all those guys.
But like,
Really,
when they
2006,
got attention,
2007. I mean, they were getting attention. Ring of Honor. That's when it was hot. Bryan Danielson was fucking Bryan Danielson in 2002 when Ring of Honor started. I mean, he was in the first ever main event. Bryan was fucking well regarded back then, and I was born in 2002. He's been well regarded longer than I've been alive.
fuck, I'm old. I was born in '98.
But Bryan, he didn't have to go to AEW. He could have stayed in WWE and did the great stuff that he did and he was doing. But he went to AEW and had one of the greatest runs I've ever seen a wrestler have in my life.
Ooh,
Some of the greatest matches I've ever seen, even outside of the company.
I'm gonna post this tweet in our group chat. I just gotta go to my phone because I bookmarked it. I want to see your thoughts on it, and I'm not gonna put it like past it if it's true. Just like tap on the tweet itself and then see the second picture. For those wondering, it is a tweet from. It shows the banner of All Out from 2019, and it showed our first 4 champions: Jericho, Mox, Omega, Hangman. At the end of tonight's broadcast of Wrestle Dream, it shows the 4. What could be the most 4 important wrestlers going into 2025 for AEW: Hook, Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, and Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Could those potentially down the line be the next 4?
No. This is laughable. Darby Allin, I can see. Orange, he could have some world title matches. Garcia as well. Hook, not yet. Listen, people need to stop. People need to chill out. Wait a couple days. You're saying that. Well, these people are saying that Darby is the other one. Darby's absolutely going to be a world champion. You're saying that these next guys, because you don't know how long that could take, like what, 4 years, 5 years? How long could that take? These guys are gonna. Hook is gonna win the world championship before Jay White, Hangman again, Ospreay, any other person who comes in. Kenny Omega potentially again, MJF potentially again. Adam Cole.
Hey. You said I'm just.
People are out there fucking mind. People need to chill. See, this is why I hate Twitter. People need to chill the fuck out. You have Ospreay, Okada, Jay White, Pac, fucking MJF and Kenny again. Probably Mox again at this rate. Swerve again. And you think, and people are saying Hook and Garcia and Orange Cassidy going to be champions
within the like.
Them?
Hey, no. I don't shoot the fucking messenger.
Well, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the fucking diplomats on Twitter. People, I mean, it's a fucking camera shot, bro. These are the guys that are gonna be fighting Moxley in the gang. That's exactly people. The next 4. Think this is fucking Kenny Omega's Twitter bio. Kenny probably. Let me say something. It was the first 4 champions. Tony said he always had that in mind. You know what? And also Kenny, he probably forgot to he forgot to change his Twitter bio, and his profile picture is him with the IWGP Championship from 2017 in New Japan. So that must mean Kenny is bringing back that title and he's going back to New Japan as well.
No, I'm not saying just because of his current banner and photo. I'm just saying because the tweet itself regards that like that image was telegraphed.
Yeah, this is gonna be the guys fighting Moxley's crew. They are not the next 4 They are not the next 4 champions. That is laughable. How do you justify Hook and Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy.
Maybe it's not saying the first.
Well, none of it's, well, it's not saying it because that's not what the picture is.
Maybe it's not 100% saying the next champions down the line.
Well,
Immediately.
That camera shot did not say anything, or neither did the angle say anything about them being the next 4 champions. Some fucking dweeb on Twitter said it.
I'm fucking turning into the fucking Drewski meme of him going like, hey.
Yeah. No, I'm not responding. I'm responding to the fucking idiots on Twitter. That makes no fucking sense. Yeah, let's have Hook and Orange Cassidy and Garcia be the world champion before Jay White, Ospreay, and a bunch of other guys that are way more qualified and needed a lot more than they do. Imagine Hook as the AEW World Champion when you have Okada, Jay White, Swerve, MJF, Moxley, part-time Danielson, Ospreay. What? What are we talking about?
Just
Are these people for real? On Twitter? This is why I don't go on here, because these people are fucking retarded.
I mean, you're not wrong, but shit.
No, I'm not wrong. That's the problem.
Sometimes Twitter does need to be nuked. Sometimes Twitter just.
No, it's not sometimes. It's all the time. It's nothing but fucking rejects on Twitter. Go to Instagram comments. There's nothing but rejects in there.
Speaking of rejects, shout out to the fucked fuckers on Twitter. Those are my boys. We are the rejects.
Rejects. They're fucking stupid as shit too, but at least they're funny. Twitter, I just feel bad for these people.
But
it's terrible.
No, so so yeah,
but that's it for Brian. His full-time in-ring career. I didn't want it to happen necessarily, but it's what he wanted, and I fully support whatever he wanted to do, whoever he wanted to drop it to, and however he wanted to go out. He's not done. He will have matches when he's done after his neck surgery. It's not gonna be his. This is not his retirement. He is going to be wrestling again, so I can't wait till that day comes.
Yeah, I think 2025 though is going to be the most interesting year for AEW, because that's when the new deal pretty much comes into full effect. The streaming stuff is on there. Hell, even today was the technically the first run with Triller as the main pay-per-view provider outside of Bleacher Report.
Mm-hmm.
And it went off without a hitch, from what I saw.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues.
I think I may have but that is just on my PC. I had one little glitch, and it was noted on the Triller chat that people had the same glitch. And I was like, that was it. Wrestler of the week, I think, just to make it a lot easier, just give it to Brian.
Yeah, I mean, it's Brian Danielson.
Yeah,
God bless him.
He was one of the best wrestlers to do it. Someone who deserves to be in every wrestling Hall of Fame. Give him the Indie Hall of Fame. Give him WWE. Hell, if AEW wants to start doing shill shit, put him in the AEW Hall of Fame.
No, give him the fucking Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's
I'm sorry, but Mox needed that first after the shit he went through 2 years ago.
Give Brian Danielson the Medal of Freedom. Give him the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. Give him the Pulitzer Prize. Give him fucking, I don't know, Gold Star.
Also, shout out to Brian Danielson's kid. Son who gouged his teacher's eye out almost. And
we got another one on the way, boys. We'll be alright. Got another one on the way. I'll be fine.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate you all for watching. Quinn, I appreciate you sticking around. We will see you Wednesday for just Dynamite in general. I'm gonna go to bed. I got to be up at 9:30 because I'm going to a race. later. So, yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate you all. And yeah, peace out.